Okay, can everyone hear me? We're ready to start the Cool Ideas session. Not yet. Steady, not yet. Okay, here's how this is going to go. My name is Larry Stauffer, the Dean of Engineering, University of Idaho, partner in crime, Jeff Dirk from Case Western, and we're in charge of this year's Cool Ideas session. The way this is going to work is we have the list of all the speakers that are in your program, minus about 3, and we're all loaded on a single file. We're going to take 4 minutes and 30 seconds for each dean to get up and talk. I know how much you like to talk, so we're going to cut you off after 4 minutes and 30 seconds. If you want to have someone to ask you a question, they can do it in the middle of that, but once that 4:30 is over, we're done. Everything's preloaded, so you want to be ready to go in the order that's in the program. Okay? Those are the game rules. So Scott, you ready to take off? All right, let's go.
All right.
Oh, is there
Okay. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My cool idea I'd like to talk about is a change team for our College of Engineering to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. So one of our first goal in our strategic plan is to become a model of an inclusive and collaborative community. Last year, during the Cool Ideas session, I talked about how we disrupted the faculty hiring process for diversity. That has really worked. We're in our 3rd year of this disruption, and over half of our faculty that we've hired over the last 3 years have been women or minorities. I took an idea from Louis Martin Vega on adding an associate dean for faculty advancement. They've really ushered and really kept a very close eye on the recruitment process by meeting with all of the search committees and the search committee chairs, reviewing all the applicants, as well as we're now working on our P&T process to get rid of, or at least minimize, implicit bias. An unexpected result from this Associate Dean for Faculty Advancement was that is also somebody that the faculty feel very comfortable going to if they have a problem or if they have some sort of need, and it's worked out very well, and it's an unexpected benefit. What I want to talk about today is a change team. So we established a change team last fall of 2016, 25 faculty and staff from across the college, representing all of our 5 schools as well as our central administration, and it really didn't turn out as we expected. So we have this cohort of 25 change leaders. Now their original charge was to empower these faculty and staff to lead 2 two-hour seminars on equity and inclusion in their departments. And we hired a consultant to help us out and help develop the materials. What we found is that our faculty and staff were a lot further along than the consultant, and so we let the consultant go about halfway through the project, and our change team with the people that we have are continuing on with the change team project. So they changed their goal from just leading these 2 seminars to achieving foundational working understanding of diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice among a majority of our College of Engineering faculty and staff. So for these change teams, they will still lead a seminar in their units, and that is really, it's necessary, but it's really not sufficient. I think it's really just a place to start. But they're also establishing professional learning communities. They're forming lunch triads. We are commissioning diversity, equity, and inclusion committees in each school, which is not really, it's not like the police, but it's really enabling the success of our strategic plan by, they're the ones that are going to go out and do pre-recruitment of faculty before the searches begin. They're the ones that are helping change the position descriptions so that our staff actually can be empowered to participate in the community building. Because they're unionized, and frankly, they just can't take the time away from their normal duties unless we change their position description. They're a sounding board for this associate dean for advanced faculty advancement, and we're disrupting this we're expanding this disruption of hiring from faculty, and we're going on now to staff and disrupting that process so that we can minimize implicit bias and really get diverse pools of candidates and really have a more diverse community. So with that, I could please come see me at tonight's reception. I'm one of the co-sponsors, happy to talk to you there, or you can email me anytime at scott@Oregon State. Thank you all.
Oops, well, that's all right. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what we're doing in terms of redesigning the undergraduate curriculum at the University of Hong Kong. And of course, we've always been asking, what kind of an engineer do we want to create these days? And I'm embarrassed to say after Scott that these are all white males. But the question is whether or not you want an Einstein or Alan Turing or a Renaissance person like Da Vinci, or a quintessential engineer like Thomas Edison, or because you have the Steve Jobs or the Zuckerbergs of the world. And of course, everything now needs to be global. Now, so what we have done, and this has been approved, and so we're beginning to work on the meat of this, is a new framework. What we call a structure that's built on a solid core with flexibility of individual study plans. So, on the right side, you will see what it means to be a Hong Kong U student, meaning the University Common Core, things like the language requirements. Then, you might say that first, second year, what it means to be a Hong Kong U engineering student, so a common engineering core. Then you go up into the civil engineering programs. We'll define a new civil or mechanical program core, and then above that, then you finish it off in the third and fourth year with specializations. And these could be cross-departmental, very technical to get into a professional discipline. One of the things that we're working on right now is a program in AI-driven fintech, financial technology, just as an example. So we have been working on an exercise of how do you build your Hong Kong U engineering student. And so what would the ideal first-year student possess in the brain, meaning the topics and the subjects? What goes on in the tool belt? So certainly like a programming language, maybe MATLAB, even PowerPoint skills as an example. And what do the hands learn? And this will be where experiential learning, design, projects, things of this nature will be brought into the first-year curriculum, our common engineering core. And so this has actually been the exciting part. So our existing first-year curriculum is 6 courses, 2 math, 1 physics, 1 programming, and then you take 2 intro courses from each one of the departments or programs. That doesn't give a lot of breadth in terms of the experience. And so our new proposed first-year curriculum will still have 2 maths and programming, but it will have 4 general engineering courses. And these 4 courses will be designed, you might say, holistically, in which you will have technical subjects like mechanics, electricity, magnetism, mixed in with design, with project work, with soft skills, and new things that are needed for engineers today. So one of the things that people have been working on is, well, students need to understand complex systems, as an example. People need to have exposure to artificial intelligence, as an example. People have talked about social responsibility and social awareness, material science, maybe doing this in the form of engineering case studies. So these are things that now we're working on, this is the hard part, to build into our first-year curriculum in terms of the 4 engineering courses. So just to wrap up, I love this quote that it is easier to change the course of history than it is to change a history course. So, all right, thank you.
Am I done? Okay, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about STEM learning ecosystems. Look, the challenge is one in which we've been kind of talking about in this meeting. All of the programs and the initiatives that we've put in place literally over the last 10 or 15 years are at best helping us to just tread water. As we look to women, to underrepresented minorities, in engineering in particular, but in STEM in general, what we're seeing is that the numbers are relatively the same. And so either we change what we're doing, or we're going to look forward 10, 20 years from now, and we're going to see the same thing. So the thing is that treading water will be problematic in the future, both from the perspective of the skills needed for employment and the skills needed just to do an everyday job. Let me put this skills gap entity in perspective. Right now, 70% of 18 to 24-year-olds in this country do not qualify for the military. 70% of 18 to 24-year-olds in this country don't qualify for the military, and the primary reason is they fail the military entrance exam, which is much more technical than it ever has been. So in step these STEM ecosystems, which started about 3 years ago, and what we're doing here is we're bringing in the business community, non-government organizations that handle STEM-rich programming. In the center there are the students, the individuals who are getting trained in this. We also incorporate families, and then there you see off to the side the institutes of higher learning. And the idea is that we bring these groups together to form an ecosystem, and each individual ecosystem in each city comes up with their own programming that will support specific initiatives in that area. It's not government funded. There are about 35 private foundations and companies that are funding these across the country. Ours started, two of us started at the same time, and ours started with a big gift from the Samueli Foundation. But as I'll show you on the map here, these are now popping up all over. Part of the reason for me bringing this to you is that many of you undoubtedly have one of these ecosystems in your cities. You may not even know about it. One of the things I want to do here is to start to connect you with that existing ecosystem if you're not already working with it. Our particular ecosystem has 6 individual specific programs. I don't have time to talk about all of them, but I will highlight to you probably the most important is our Ecosystem Institute, in which we engage schools at the district level with hands-on education and training. Right now we're impacting about 300,000 students through integrating and directly impacting curriculum in 18 different school districts in the state. That's my director of academic innovation, Layla Riley. Here are the actual ecosystems. And so look at that map there. See if there's a dot near you. And if there is, come talk to me, and let's talk about how I can connect you with that individual ecosystem in your state or in your city. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Molly Gribb, and I'm delighted to be here with you this afternoon. I wanted to show you a little video about our Women in Engineering, Mathematics, and Science program. But first, a little bit of context. We have about 8,000 students. We're one of 5 universities in Wisconsin that have engineering colleges. About half of the students that come to school every year at Platteville come for our engineering, mathematics, and science programs. And we serve primarily Wisconsin students. Many are first generation. I wanted to tell you a little bit about this program because we've been able to increase the number of women in our engineering programs in particular. And last year we were awarded the Claire L. Felbinger Award for Diversity. And so ABET made us this cute little video that I'll show you now.
The Women in Engineering, Mathematics, and Science program began on the University of Wisconsin-Platteville's campus in 1995. 2 decades later, the staff has grown from 1 part-time employee to 6 full-time staff, a team working relentlessly to create a professional network for women engineers and encouraging women at the high school and college level to take an interest in engineering. Through recent efforts, the College of Engineering has seen an unprecedented 72% growth in female enrollment since 2010. Impressive compared to the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Sciences overall growth of just 35%. This program recently held the Section H Society of Women Engineers Conference, the largest conference in UW-Platteville history, with over 700 attendees, an event coordinated and led by the students. They have also seen success in engaging middle and high school-aged women. The Women in Engineering Career Day event grew from 50 students in 2010 to over 100 students in 2015, a 100% increase that led to a wait list for the event. Another event, Pioneering Your Future in STEM, went from 20 students in 2011 to 125 in 2016, with 75 more on the wait list. And when students join the College of Engineering, Math, and Science, they stay there thanks to their Women in STEM Living Learning Communities program, with an average retention of 84% for freshmen and 92% for sophomores. The Mentor program builds on this success by matching lowerclassmen with upperclassmen that can serve as guides in navigating through the difficult STEM fields while building. These programs have contributed to the overall growth in UW-Platteville's programs, but in the bigger picture, their initiatives are paving the way for future female leaders to enter the STEM professions.
So we had this great growth, but I have to tell you that that leaves us at 15% women in the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science. So we were in the single digits not only 5 years ago. And one of the great things about what they've been able to do in the last 5 years is once they get women to campus and in our program, they stay. And now what I'd like to talk to any of you about is how do I get more women on campus in a rural setting in southwest Wisconsin. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I will use my 4.5 minutes of fame to tell you about the Global Engineering Field School that we are starting this summer, a new initiative launched by the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences at Stony Brook University as part of our broader vision to educate globally sensitized engineers and social entrepreneurs. This is an initiative in collaboration with the Turkana Basing Institute, So I will start with a little bit background. What is so special about Lake Turkana in Kenya? Lake Turkana is in northern Kenya, is the world's largest permanent lake in a desert, but it is a lot more than that. Just about everybody on this planet can trace their DNA to a lineage of Homo sapiens that migrated out of that area 50 to 60,000 years ago. This is the cradle of humankind, and it is the place where some of the most important anthropological findings have been found. This is also like the Turkana boy that you see here, or some of the most ancient tools recorded in history, or a series of skulls detailing a history of 3.5 million years of human evolution. At that location, Stony Brook University, in partnership with Richard Leakey, a world-renowned anthropologist, has established the Turkana Basin Institute, which has 2 campuses on the eastern and western part of the lake. This is a place where paleoanthropologists from all over the world go and do research. This is built in a very tough environment. It's arid, it's very hot. It's a place where it's very difficult to provide the basic amenities that you need to do research. But that is really what is great about the opportunity for getting students there, that facilities are already in place. So if you want to build an environment where you provide basic amenities in a place like northern Kenya, it has to be, you have to use engineering innovation to develop all kinds of innovative solutions for off-grid environments. And this is in fact what Turkana Basin is. It is a testbed for engineering innovation for off-grid environments, from growing food in very dry environments, hydroponic environments, to ways to produce clean water, to store rainwater, and so on. This is a place where students, engineering students, can learn about such type of innovation. They can develop new solutions, new ideas, and test them, and possibly develop new products down the road. But it is a lot more than that. This is also, the Turkana Basin Institute is well connected with the communities in that area. Students will have the opportunity to go there and experience and understand firsthand the survival challenges of local people. I had the chance to visit there just 2 weeks ago and have that experience, and I can tell you, if seeing women and children digging through dry beds to get muddy water, which would be the water supply of the day, drinking the water and spitting out the sand, as I saw, if this will not motivate young engineers to really think of ways to use technology and innovation to improve the lives of people in this part of the world, nothing will. So it is indeed promising to be quite a transformative experience that it is my hope that will lead. The best contribution of a program like that would be to inspire engineers of the future, for the future careers, to really think of how they can use technology to make a difference and tackle problems of global poverty and so on. So what will happen in the summer of 2017 when we are launching this program? Students will spend 6 weeks in rural Kenya at the Turkana Basin facilities, which you see in the images there. These are very good facilities, very comfortable. They will take 2 to 3 credits at TBI facilities. They will take 2 3-credit courses that will count for credit at their facilities there. They will work on projects in the field, seeking to improve the quality of local people. And most importantly, they will develop ideas to pursue when they come back to Stony Brook as part of their capstone project, and down the road pursue social entrepreneurship initiatives. I have, for instance, an example of a capstone project one of our students is working right now, how you create a low-maintenance mobile vegetable cooler for off-grid market applications. And this is, we are looking for partners. So anybody interested to work with us, to send students there, please get in touch with me. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I was going to give you a quick demonstration of a skill that we have with Amazon Alexa, but the network is a little squonky here, so backup plan. Backup plan is not working either. Okay, then I will talk. Basically, this was an example of the Alexa skill, and the idea is that for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, that you can do a hands-off free sort of an ambient technology approach to interfacing with the web, interfacing with technology. And when I was working in the 90s in voice recognition and natural language processing, it seemed like it was right on the horizon, and here we are a little bit later. But it does seem with all the large data sets and the use of natural language processing that's being put on, that's on the web, that we are quite close to doing something with this. And it turns out that in terms of the market penetration, this has been quite effective. The Amazon Echo has grown in use as fast as the iPhone did, and it's taking the same approach in terms of having a skills repository or app store for use. And the amount of applications that are out there, the skills that are being built out there that are connected to education is quite small. So it's a large market potential. And what you've already found that people will buy one of these things and place a number of them in their home potentially. So the iPhone was by individual in terms of the purchases, and this is by home, but now we're seeing more of those required in the home. So the idea is that we're creating a skill that will be somewhat generic for an engineering school or any kind of college, which could then be shared with other schools to have as an interface through a Google Home or an Amazon Echo to the information you have available on your web page. And anyone that's interested, please give me a call.
Now for something completely different, from the world of ambient computing back to humans. I want to share something that's going on at James Madison University. We have a very young engineering program. It's a single multidisciplinary program, about 450 students, and it will turn 10 next year. So we're still in very early days with this program. For those of you that don't know JMU, we're part of the state system in Virginia, and we're in the scenic Shenandoah Valley. What I want to talk to you about today is our Engineering 101 class. And in that class, it's one that all students take, and it's one of the very few classes that we do in a large format. So all roughly 150 freshmen are together in this class, and we use it as a way to build community, to introduce students to the human-centered design that forms the spine of our curriculum, and also to help them start to develop their identity as engineers, or to help some understand that that's not the identity that they want to develop very early on, to help them decide what's going on. And so, along with systems thinking and the professionalism and ethics that we build into the program, we've had to try and figure out how to support this large class and to help students see and find connection and community in engineering. And we've done that through using mentors and what the students actually call families. This was not our term, this was their term. And so we developed learning communities of roughly 10 to 12. Each community is 10 to 12 students, and they work together through the span of this first semester class. And each of the families is mentored and supported by 2 upper class students. And if it was only TAs, I wouldn't be up here with this as a cool idea. That's not particularly novel or interesting. But the interesting part about this for us is these upper class men and women that are supporting the families are part of our engineering leadership program. This is an effort that we've had in place for the last 3 years, and so the students that are participating in mentors actually have an extensive coursework, pre-semester workshop, and they're developing their own leadership skills as they then implement them with these first-year students. And interestingly, the assessments that we've done so far, and we've done a variety of them, are showing largely positive impacts for the freshmen, motivation, mindset, and the like, and extremely positive feedback and results for the mentors. This is a laboratory for them. They have an opportunity to put into play the engineering leadership skills that they're learning in real time. And it's offering them really the chance to help develop and then also interact with their peers about what's working and what's not. And so we've been very pleased with the way that this has been going. So this is just a brief summary of what we've been up to here. This is work that's largely been led by Justin Henriquez and Kyle Gibson on our campus, along with Callie Miller-Johnson, who's a new hire for us. And we're really excited to go a little bit deeper into the assessment and to understand and see if we can quantify a little bit what the impacts are on the upperclassmen and women that are participating as mentors. So we really think that we are getting to be all in the family. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jim Garrett from Carnegie Mellon University. And at CMU, we seek to activate students' minds, hands, and hearts. And one of the ways that we try to do this is through something that we call Innovation Palooza. And Innovation Palooza is an annual celebration of innovation that's sponsored by the College of Engineering. We have companies come in that demonstrate some new, exciting, and emerging technologies that they're working on. We have researchers come and show the new technologies that they're working on in the labs. We have lightning talks from industry sponsors, industry innovators and thinkers. And we really try to emphasize a connection between the technology and the arts. And one of the main activities that we have going on in this Innovation Palooza is an Impactathon. And an Impactathon is like a hackathon, but for social problems. What we do is we give the students 5 days and a challenging social problem on which to come up with a prototype. In the last two Impactathons, we had the students first work on temporary shelters for homeless, and then in the second one, we had them working on playground access for kids with disabilities. The teams are judged based on their understanding of the problem, solution concept that they come up with, the demonstration of the solution that they are actually able to demonstrate to the judges, the quality of the prototype that they create, and actually the clever use of technology that they come up with. For example, shown on the previous slide was the, where was it? Here was the winning solution that used some very high-tech materials in order to create a shelter that could be easily deployed and in fact effective. And I fork over $1,000 for the top prize each year. Other activities that we have going on in the college that promote innovation are an Integrated Innovation Institute, which is a graduate education program that combines engineering, the design school in the College of Fine Arts, and our Tepper School of Business. And they provide graduate education to produce an integrated product, service, and software innovation and management curriculum. We also have a Master of Science and Technology Ventures that we're just launching. This is a bi-coastal program. Yes, we at Carnegie Mellon like to think we're on the other coast compared to our campus in Silicon Valley. But we have students spend 1 year in Pittsburgh and 1 year in Silicon Valley, and they get exposure to engineering and exposure to creating a technology venture. We have an MS degree taught out of Pittsburgh in Technology and Innovation Management. And we just launched this year the Schwartz Center for Entrepreneurship, which with generous support from Tom Schwartz to provide an integration of all of our entrepreneurship activities into one location so that students and faculty can launch their ideas and get support to do it. And then, of course, our Innovation Palooza is a part of this activity. Thank you.
I want to talk briefly about our freshman engineering program at the University of Arkansas. And years ago, we formed a freshman engineering program, 9 years ago to be exact. And I've actually talked about that at previous meetings where we've seen a very large increase in our freshman, sophomore retention and six-year graduation rates. And common to the theme we've heard throughout today in these sessions has been the emphasis on peer mentoring being very key. So on the student services side of our programming, we have very effective peer mentoring by upper class students. Also in view of student services, there's the support through orientation and academic advising, professional development, a lot of informing, more informed choice of the major, and then engineering problem-solving skills. Those are all offered through a 2 one-hour course sequence that the students don't particularly enjoy because there's so much time involved, but has been remarkable in the change. And then we also offer academic assistance. One of the things we started very soon with the FEP program, the Walton family endowed our Walton College 15 years ago with a very, very large gift. And so we have one of the leading honors programs in the country. And what we felt like to stimulate interest in the undergraduate research is to start undergraduate research in the freshman year. So 9 years ago at Honors College, those students who have advanced placement in math, they will take this 1 hour course, but it's a 1 hour course specifically set up for them so that they can move into a research experience for undergraduates. And so initially there's a seminar series where the students will hear a sector of the research being pursued by our faculty. They learn, then they spend 6 months in teams of size 2, where they're actually working with the faculty mentor and working in topics that preliminary to graduate level research. And then they also include all the normal materials, and then also written and oral communication skills are highly emphasized in that particular experience. And so it's been hugely popular, and in fact in mid-April here in a couple of weeks we'll have a major competition where 70 to 80 students will compete on outstanding research, outstanding poster, outstanding presentations. It's a very big deal and a very exciting thing. Pursuant to input from our advisory council a year and a half ago, they very much are enthralled with the freshman engineering program success that it's realized, but they really insisted that we consider putting an innovation leg. And so last fall, in our freshman research experience for our freshman engineering program, we began the same thing, but focusing now on innovation, invention, and entrepreneurship. 3 to 4 people group size student groups then will work with a faculty mentor, and so we're getting great success in that. And actually at the University of Arkansas, my thinking as the dean is that we want to get more deeply rooted in innovation and entrepreneurship and believe that it really begins at that freshman year. So our freshmen are thoroughly enjoying being involved with innovation. I expect to see great things come out of that. And long-term goal is to see half of the freshmen in our honors colloquium be focused on innovation and entrepreneurship. So that's the fun thing we're doing there at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ron Harshandran from the University of New Haven. I think in the last several years, we've heard about entrepreneurship, innovation, and so on. And many of us are trying to do that in a variety of ways, typically through extracurricular activities, competitions, and those kinds of things. But what about curriculum? What about the content? And so we believe broadly in entrepreneurial thinking, and that the 21st century engineer, really the technical skills in engineering alone are insufficient. And so these are the kind of content knowledge that, in addition to technical knowledge, that students need. Now that's a lot, and the question is, how do you cram that into a highly technically packed engineering curriculum? So that's what we were struggling with. Fortunately, we received a grant of about $1 million from the Kern Family Foundation to try to put this in place. And so while grappling with this, we came up with a concept of using e-learning modules. So these are not additional courses. These are short modules that take students about 6 to 9 hours to complete. Students can do that outside of a class context, but the content is integrated, each module. So we are in the process, we've done about 10 of these, but when we're done, we'll have all of these topics, about 18 modules in total. They will be integrated across 4 years of all our engineering and computer science programs. So these are discipline independent, so they can be built in context within any of these programs. Starting with the very first semester engineering course and going all the way through senior year. We identify the content experts through a formal request for proposals. We receive them from outside. We select faculty experts or people in industry to develop each of these modules. We provide them assistance with a course designer, with our e-learning staff, and so on to do that. These are relatively sophisticated modules that have text, short videos, interactive stuff to keep the students engaged. So that's the format that we've done. Now, in terms of implementation, this is sort of the structure. The content is delivered via these online learning modules. The students do it outside of class, so faculty don't have to compromise class time or compromise their technical content. Of course, the students have to work a little harder. The faculty member then engages the students through discussions through the e-learning, the LMS that's used in the school. They reinforce the learning through an activity. So, doing the online module itself is like learning from a textbook. You can only absorb so much. The students are really going to learn it when they apply it in context within the class in which the module is integrated. So the instructor has to develop that project for students to apply what they learned. And then the assessment takes place through the assessment of that project as well as through exams and so on. So once we had this successfully in place within our campus, we used some of our grant funding money to try to promote this or try to have other people use it. So over the last academic year, and I think those of you who attended EDI last year probably got emails from me because that's the roster I used. This year I'll probably have a slightly enlarged list. But then we again did an RFP where people could apply to use these modules in any of their classes. And in the last year, we had faculty from 24 institutions adopt one or more of these modules to integrate into the engineering classes. We brought those faculty into a half-day training workshop prior to the ASEE meeting last year. We are in the second year. We are doing that again right now. So I think the call closes in about a couple of weeks. And we will again bring another set of faculty before the ASEE meeting this year for another training. We have 4 more modules, so we are now up to 10 modules developed. So that's the approach that we're taking. We think it works well. We are going through the assessment phase right now to evaluate the full effectiveness of this, both using internal data as well as the data from the various institutions that have used them. The website there has the application form for faculty in your institutions who may be interested in applying. I said this, it's open for another week and a half or so. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'd like to introduce to you an exciting program at Tufts, the Bridge to Engineering Success at Tufts. As we call it on campus, the best program. You may be wondering why the elephant. You have to visit the Tufts campus to know that our mascot is an elephant. So the program started in 2010 in the effort to increase the number of students from underrepresented groups. The program typically enrolls about 15 to 20 students each year, and we work with the mission office to identify those applicants who have the potential to succeed in engineering, but from minority school, under-resourced schools, or those who are the first generation in their family to attend college. To date, the program has attracted students from many states across the country. Once the students are admitted, they are invited to campus to spend 6 weeks, the summer before they enroll as a freshman students. During those 6 weeks, they would take 2 college-level courses for credit, but more importantly, we create different opportunities for the students to get to know the faculty, learn about the different resources on campus, and build camaraderie among themselves as a cohort. However, the BEST program is more than just a summer program. It has evolved to scaffold the 4-year experience. During the freshman year, we aimed at ensuring that all BEST students are well acclimated and supported both academically and socially by mandatorily require them to attend seminars and workshops. And in sophomore year, we will focus developing a clear path to graduation by carefully selecting the courses that they need to take and the key faculty that they need to engage with, and looking for summer internships or research opportunities. The junior years, the focus will, did I miss the sophomore year? Okay, well, the junior years will have, most of the students will have completed at least one internship or summer research experience. So at this point, we focus our attention in honing in their career aspirations and setting up goals on how to achieve them. At this point, we ask them, actually require them to work with the Career Center to refine their resume and participate in mock interviews to improve their communication skills. In senior years, we continually helping them to refine their, enhance their resume and develop communication skills and develop networks for their future careers. But more importantly, we want to focus on their lives after Tufts. And okay, very quickly, all right. Sorry, just one more. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm last, I think, Ken Lutchen from Boston University. I'm going to talk to you about synthesizing a makerspace that we put together with industry and working in tandem with industry to actually transform undergraduate education in novel ways and in partnering with industry in novel ways. I assume one of these works. Yes. So in 2015, we opened up our 15,000 square foot Engineering Product Innovation Center, a large makerspace combined with design and collaboration studios. That itself is not unique. Many schools are opening up these large makerspaces. What was distinctive was the way we decided to incorporate it into our curriculum and to partner with industry, because we realized we just did not want a makerspace, but we actually, as a university, don't actually make anything except people. So if we were going to do this right, we had to partner with industry that goes ahead and makes products. We recruited a director of the center, who was a former CEO of Schott North America and vice president for product development in Corning, and a former professor of practice, so he knew how to teach very well. He engaged a set of key industrial partners at the forefront of advanced product design and manufacturing innovation that wanted to work with our students in our program. And then EPIC and industry are then used to transform engineering curriculum and to catalyze a culture of design, creativity, and innovation throughout not just the engineering school, but all of BU. It allows us to design a new required class for all of our sophomores. I'll talk about that in a second. It exposes students to the technical innovation and design skills they feel are needed for the next generation of workforces. By working with industry, we do that. And this innovation creative space, as I said, has become a hub for all of BU students, College of Fine Arts students, business students, anywhere, to come prototype both inside and outside of class time. This is a photo of the EPIC itself. It's a huge building with giant glass windows, as you can see. It has all the things that you would typically put into a makerspace. It's right on Com Ave, if you're familiar with Boston University. On the top photo, on the far right in those windows, we commissioned about a 15-minute animation about the role of engineering and its impact on society, centered around the grand challenges and several other things. This building is primarily in Brookline, except for 6 inches of it. And Brookline said you're not allowed to advertise on the windows in our town, and we said it's not an advertisement. It's a movie about the role of engineering on society, and the Brookline people looked at us and said, well, that sounds pretty cool. Okay, you can do that, but you have to put the movie 1 foot back from the glass. And we said, well, that's just stupid, because now the movie will look terrible. And they said, oh, well, put it as far away from the glass as you can and until it starts to look terrible. So we put it right up against the glass. And it's a little bit of a mini Times Square event right there. So that's pretty cool. And these are the companies we've partnered with: Rolls-Royce, GE Aviation, Saint-Gobain, Schlumberger, Procter & Gamble, and PTC. And every one of the board members is at the vice president level or above. And they pay an annual fee to be a member of the industry steering committee. So first, what's the role of the industry play? Why are they paying this fee? And part of this is they help grow the infrastructure by donating equipment and guiding purchases and providing some resources to install it. They sponsor design and professional events. They're actively involved in student projects from sophomores to masters. And they helped us design a new master's degree in product design and manufacture and a new undergraduate design course. This course handles about 250 students per semester. There are 8 sections of the course. Each one has 25 students. Each section has 5 students on a team. Each team member has to be from a different discipline, or at least each team has to have a member from a different discipline. And the teams design things like shown on the bottom here, and we focus on a flipped classroom pedagogy so that they review how to use and do all the techniques online, and all the class time is making things. So in conclusion, this is a huge, epic way to connect engineering education to design and to partner with industry so that students are getting the curriculum and the technology exposure that industry actually wants and the skills that they need for the future workforce of manufacturing, innovation, and product development. Thank you.
Okay, that wraps up our Cool Ideas session this year. We want to thank all the engineering deans for being on time and punctual and getting things done. Appreciate that. And if you get a chance during the reception, track down one of the cool deans about their cool idea. Okay, see you next year.